This episode of Between the Reps is sponsored by Green Chef. Green Chef is a CCOF certified meal kit company. They make eating well easy with plans to fit every lifestyle. Whether you are keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals, Green Chef offers a range of recipes to suit your preference. So feel your best today with nutritionist-approved recipes, including meals under 700 calories, protein-packed meals with at least 40 grams of protein on average per serving. Also, if you're looking for plant-rich vegan and vegetarian meals, they have those and they feature certified organic produce. Not to mention good-for-you grains and plant-based protein. With Green Chef, you will be reducing your food waste by up to 23% versus grocery shopping. Green Chef is also the only meal kit that is both carbon and plastic offset. They offset 100% of their delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastics in every box. Plus, nearly all packaging materials are curbside recyclable in most areas in the U.S. So go to greenchef.com/reps50 and use the code REPS50 to get 50% off plus free shipping. Again, that's go to greenchef.com/reps50 and use the code REPS50 to get 50% off plus free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
I love cooking for my family and friends. I love doing holiday dinners, breakfasts, barbecues, pretty much anything. It's kind of my love language for my friends and family. What I don't enjoy is the cleanup. Those sticky pans that have food cooked and caked to them that take forever to soak or clean off. So I recently invested in a set of Caraway pans. I will tell anyone that would listen that these are the best pans I've ever owned. Caraway cookware is non-toxic and chemical-free. So you can cook knowing that you are not using pans with PFAS coating and forever chemicals leaching into your food. Cleanup is a breeze. Everything just comes right off. There's no soaking, there's no scrubbing. They just clean up beautifully. For a limited time, get 10% off site-wide on mine and the internet's favorite kitchenware. Visit carawayhome.com/reps to get 10% off during their summer refresh event. Certain exclusions apply. That's carawayhome.com/reps or use code REPS, REPS, at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. So hi.
Hi.
I haven't gotten to talk to you for a couple weeks.
I know. I found, you can't tell it from here, but I have found a great way to start a diet, and it's called norovirus.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh man.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, I was supposed to go to Yosemite. I was actually like 2 weeks ago, but I was supposed to go to Yosemite and came down with it like on Thursday. And my friend Daniel, he always insists that it's all in your head. Mm-hmm. He just is like, oh, it's in your head. I'm like, no, it's coming out of my ass and my mouth.
I'm not imagining
diarrhea and puking. But yeah, so got really, really sick. And then thank God I didn't go because I wouldn't have anyway. As all I could think of is like, it's for somebody's birthday. What I'm going to here's the gift of norovirus for your birthday. I've become a super spreader.
Yeah.
So
I heard you wanted to lose 5 pounds.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Yes. Just one stomach flew away from my goal weight. But yeah. So that was super fun. And then, just getting back into life. It just took me out. But
how many days were you sick for?
Well, I was at home sick. I wouldn't leave the house because it was funny. I was like, and I'm not even positive it was noro, but it's been going around here. Mm-hmm. And my friend's a nurse, and I was telling her my symptoms, and she was like, "Ooh, it sounds like it." We've been getting like a lot of people coming in for it, and So I was tired of being stuck in the house, and I really wanted to like go somewhere, and I was having FOMO because my friends kept posting everything in Yosemite. So I was like, I just want to go somewhere. And then I read, it was like with norovirus, you can be contagious. I think it was like up to 3 days after your symptoms. And, don't make food for anybody, or, like I'm just going to have like a big giant barbecue or something. It's like really contagious.
Yeah, no, I know.
So,
and that's one of the reasons why it spreads so fast is because people feel better and then they go out.
So, so I stuck at home for like 4 days. I got a lot of cleaning done,
Great.
Yeah. I cleaned all my cabinets. I washed my walls. I mean, that's when you're desperate for something to do, is when you wash your walls.
Oh my Jesus. I wish I was that bored.
Well, I have too much time on my hands, and I'm such a TV watcher that I'm literally like, it's so bad that I'll go to watch something. Someone's like, oh, have you seen this? I'm like, oh no, I've seen that. I mean, Brooke's talked about it before. I'm such a TV person. I'm such a night owl. So like, I'll start watching TV at like 7, and I'll be up until, like 2 a.m. watching something. And so I like friends that want to actually watch something with me will say like, do not watch this, so that because otherwise I'll just watch it.
Yeah.
And I just, watch anything. So yeah, I was sick of, I got so bad that I was like, I feel like I'm getting bed sores and I'm watching too much TV. So I'll wash my walls. I wiped the leaves of my plants. I mean, these are all things.
Wow,
Yeah.
you really went for it.
Yeah. I cleaned my light fixtures. Yeah. It was, I was, it was pretty productive. So
I'm kind of impressed, actually.
No, thanks.
That's good.
This is what life is like when living alone.
I probably would have been like, I've been sick. I get a pass. I'm going to watch another episode.
I think I'm lazier. I'm lazier, more constant than you are, though.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think so. I'm more consistently lazy. So, yeah.
I think I have just more people to take care of, or more entities in my home to take care of than
that is true. That is true. I have nobody.
Yeah.
I like it that way.
So excited.
I know. Well, when Ruby broke up with her boyfriend, I was so scared she was going to move back in.
I bet.
I was like, no. God bless her. I love her. I just went by her house today because her tax return came here, and I went over there. And I just adore her, obviously. I mean, she's my child.
Yeah.
But I was like watching her like walk, because now she lives by herself. And thank God she's able to do that. But she's just so damn cute. It's so crazy. Like when you look at them, you're like, that's my baby.
Yeah.
Just living by herself. Yeah. I was like, Mom, can you come teach me how to cook? I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. You can do that. So yeah, it's fun.
That's great.
But no, I'm definitely enjoying my time alone.
I can't wait.
It's so nice. I can fart whenever I want.
I still do that now.
That's what I know. I talk about it a lot on here. Like people probably think I'm like the grossest person to be around because I talk about so many disgusting things. But like I'm actually like a very I don't like to do that in front of people.
Oh no, you are not
I'm not like a or like burp and all that kind of stuff. Like I was raised that was like bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so bad with my mom that my dad would just like rip a fart like while we were watching TV, and we weren't allowed to laugh. Like, do you know what torture that is to a child? Like my dad's laying on a beanbag. He's got one kid under one arm and like me under the other, and he's just ripping farts. And my mom, and we're like, like getting in trouble for laughing. I think it's why I'm so crude, because obviously weren't allowed to swear, but like we couldn't even say fart. We had to say pass gas.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that feels weirder than fart.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I think my mom used to call them toots.
Yeah, a toot.
She wouldn't say fart because it was too, aggressive.
Vulgar.
Yeah, vulgar.
Vulgar.
Say, oh, yeah. Or whatever.
Toot.
I think my dad would still swear to this day that he's never heard her fart.
Really? That can't be.
Years.
That can't be.
I don't know.
I mean, I definitely farted around my ex, but always on accident. Like never on purpose. And we weren't like go to the bathroom with the door open types of people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I feel like it really ruins things in the bedroom. Like that is just not, I mean, he would fart, but he was never like what does Brooke call it? We pull the sheets over the
Dutch oven
or whatever that is.
I think
he was never like that. But, hey guys, welcome to Between the Reps with Brooke, Jeanna, and Devin. Brooke is not with us yet, but she will be joining us. But yeah, my upbringing was kind of weird. Like my mom, like we had to answer the phone. Hello, this is Jeanna speaking. We had to say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir to our parents. If we didn't, we got in big trouble. Yeah.
Was that how your mom was raised too?
No. I mean, I don't know.
Where did it come from then?
I think my mom just liked the idea of like really well-behaved children.
Mm.
And it was funny. I was watching something. Somebody had posted something about children. Cause like it's kind of a slippery slope because we have this idea that like children need discipline, but do they need discipline for not liking foods?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
My mom was very heavy with the discipline and she always wanted us to be like perfect little angels everywhere we went. So there was like this idea that that's what we needed to be. And I think that yes, ma'am, yes, sir came from my dad's side of the family. She loved that when she would visit my dad's family, because my dad's family was from the South, from Mississippi. And they would always say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir.
Yeah.
But that really fucked us because as we got older, you know, like working at our family business, you'd say, can I help you, ma'am? And then there's women that will get offended because that's like an older term.
Right.
So it's like, so it's backfired a few times.
Like, you don't need to call me ma'am.
Yeah. I'm not that old. I'm not a ma'am. I'm like, ooh. But yeah, I guess you just can't make everybody happy. I mean, I still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Faith's boyfriend is from Texas and he calls me ma'am. And you know, I had to kind of get used to it and be like, you don't have to be. I'm not
like so formal.
But that's just how he talks, and it's just a sign of respect, you know, is all that it is. But yeah, I had to get used to it.
You're like, I'm not a man.
I'm not a man.
I'm not a man. Yeah. I mean, basically, I think my childhood just fucked me up completely.
I don't think so. I think you're a pretty amazing person.
Oh, thanks, Deb. You're very sweet. I don't know. There's probably more than a few people that would be like, yeah, no, it fucked you up. Yeah. No, it was, you know, for the most part, it was good.
How many siblings do you have?
3.
So you're one of 4?
I'm the oldest of 4.
Oldest of 4. Okay.
Yeah, 4 girls.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. My dad had an ulcer named after each one of us. He used to joke about it. Because, yeah, I mean, my dad was a very just like quiet. He's a lot like Brooke's dad. A lot like Tracy, very quiet. And, you know, like he would, if he had something to say, he'd say it. But if he didn't, and, you know, he had these 4, you know, high-voiced, rambunctious girls that were all over the place constantly. And I mean, God save him, like when we all were all on our periods at the same time.
He's like, I have a work trip.
Yeah. Yeah. He spent a lot of time at work. No, I mean, like he always like coached all of our teams and like all that kind of stuff. He was involved, but he definitely was at work a lot, even after he retired.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't really know many dads that aren't. Like my dad was always at work.
Yeah.
And even now that he's retired, he's got like little side projects. He's always off doing something.
Staying busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Brooke's the same way.
We have a lot of people that after they kind of retire from their careers, they'll come work at our stores.
Mhm.
So they just like to tinker,
Yeah.
you know?
Tinker around.
Yeah, there's always like old Bob and plumbing, and it's funny. We get a lot of like older people. So they think that they just, I mean, I can imagine. It's funny, like after I got divorced and I wasn't working outside the home, but I still had a teenager at home and was driving and doing all that. So I'd have like chunks of time to myself, but I was like getting a glimpse into it, like, oh, this is going to be great. I don't have to do anything, and then of course I got divorced and I was like, oh, I got to get a job. But for that time, like I want to be a lady that lunches.
We all do, Jeanna.
I know. I got to be a lady that lunched for like, I don't know, a couple years. That was fun. But yeah, it was funny because I got to a point where I was like, oh, this is boring. And you know why? Because everybody else has jobs.
Yeah.
Would you like to lunch with me? No, I fucking work, you loser.
When we first moved here, I met a group of women who were all stay-at-home moms. Mm-hmm. And when we moved up here,
we're the worst
from LA County.
We're the worst.
Well, I didn't have to work for a couple of years, right. So I was a lady that lunched.
Yeah,
but the group of women that I befriended liked very expensive lunches or to like do kind of expensive activities during the day. And so I was like kind of a wannabe lady that lunched. I would show up like once a week or, 3 times a month.
Yeah, no, I ended up in a bunco group. I mean, like that's when that's when you know that you are kind of a loser. Sorry if there's anybody out there that's in a bunco. Bunco is, and they call it drunko for a reason. Bunco is just a reason for moms to get together away from their kids and husband and drink. Like it's the dumbest game you've ever played. But I ended up, somebody had asked me to come, like one of the girls was a good friend of mine, and she had asked me to come as like an alternate.
Oh yeah.
It was almost like a tryout.
Yeah.
Like, we just want to know if she's gonna, and these women
or not.
Yeah, these women, I mean, you have to remember this was like in probably like the 2000s, somewhere around there, or like 2010s, or I don't know, what do you call that?
Mine was because it was right when I moved, so it was like 2007.
Yeah, okay.
This episode of Between the Reps is sponsored by Green Chef. Green Chef is a CCOF certified meal kit company. They make eating well easy with plans to fit every lifestyle. Whether you are keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals, Green Chef offers a range of recipes to suit your preference. So fill your best today with nutritionist-approved recipes, including meals under 700 calories, protein-packed meals with at least 40 grams of protein on average per serving. Also, if you're looking for plant-rich vegan and vegetarian meals, they have those and they feature certified organic produce. Not to mention good-for-you grains and plant-based protein. My favorite thing about getting my order from Green Chef is the convenience. I get so excited to open my order and look and see what's inside as I kind of organize all of the vegetables, fruits, proteins, and put them in the fridge. And I can, right there in that moment, already see what my meals are going to be, and I just get to pick which ones I want for each day. It is so convenient, so fun. With Green Chef, you will be reducing your food waste by up to 23% versus grocery shopping. Green Chef is also the only meal kit that is both carbon and plastic offset. They offset 100% of their delivery emissions, as well as 100% of the plastics in every box. Plus, nearly all packaging materials are curbside recyclable in most areas in the U.S. So go to greenchef.com/reps50 and use the code REPS50 to get 50% off plus free shipping. Again, that's go to greenchef.com/reps50 and use the code REPS50 to get 50% off plus free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
Yeah, mine was like probably 2006-ish to, in that area. And it was funny because I remember thinking, God, these women suck. Like, that sounds so terrible because I'm not like somebody who like, I think, it's hard to have girlfriends. Like I love girls.
Yeah.
That sounds weird. I love girls. I do. I love female friendships. Like they're really important to me. And, but these women were they were literally like going and playing bunco with like the Real Housewives of fucking the OC housewives or whatever it was. They were so gossipy. They would like, and I'm like brand new, and like every woman that would like walk out, they'd start talking shit about her.
Oh yeah.
Like that kind. And I was like, oh no. I just want to stay an alternate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did do like a few things with them, but like they always had like the bedazzled True Religion jeans and I don't know. And they always would like had like crazy amounts of jewelry. And I just didn't fit into that. But they liked me. And this happened to me a couple of times because like the area that we were living in at the time was more very like white upper middle class-ish. So like there weren't like super, super rich people, but like, a lot of people were working over in Silicon Valley. So like they had like decent money, and my ex and I made decent money. And it's funny because we didn't really look like it. And it happened to me a couple times where people wouldn't really give me the time of day, like at, like say at school, like a mom at school or something. And then like we would have like a birthday party and someone would come to our house, and we had it was a fairly large house, and we had the pool and the pool house and the gym and the American dream basically, and the pond and the huge lawn. And we were only able to afford it because my parents had sold it to us for like way under market value. So I don't want to act like we were like so rich or something, but it looked like we had money. And so people wanted to hang out with us. Yeah. And I always was like, really? Oh, now you want to hang out with me.
Oh, now
you think I'm cool enough for you.
Right.
But yeah, I usually wouldn't end up hanging out with them. Pretty awful. Because women like that, it's like, well, what are you saying about me when I walk out of the room?
Oh, absolutely.
And me, I'm like such an open book. Like I'm just telling people all my secrets.
Yeah. I know. Well, I'm the same way. I mean, maybe a little less than you, but
yeah.
I feel like I'm pretty like what you see is what you get,
Yeah.
And that sucks when they're like that. I got lucky. The group that I befriended and that I hung out with, they all were really cool people. It just, when I went through the divorce, I just backed away from everybody because it was so much drama and never really like reconnected. But if I see them now, it's,
divorce will do that. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because like, even like in a, like for my ex and I, our divorce was pretty amicable, I would say, for the most part. And there's still like those people that just feel like they have to like be on a side, or they're just really up in your business. I had a few friends that were always like, so, or like talking shit about like girls he's dating or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
You're not going to suck me into your bullshit.
Honestly, what I found was not so much anybody taking sides, but I think it made everybody really uncomfortable because it's such a small area that I live in that like the drama was there was like some gossip and stuff going around, rumor mill. But I think it made a lot of my friends uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, you know, this could happen to her. It happened to me too. Maybe.
Like they're going to catch it.
It's contagious. It's norovirus.
It's a virus.
It's a virus.
You'll catch it too. Oh no.
I don't know. That was just sort of what I told myself. Who knows? Maybe they were like, oh, thank God we don't have to talk to her anymore. She's such a bitch.
I want to dump her for a while.
She's such a downer. We don't want to talk to her anymore.
Yeah. I had some of my girlfriends that seemed like more upset about some of the women that my ex dated than I was. And I was like, what is going on? like they almost seemed like they wanted to cry about it. And I was like, I feel like something's going on in your relationship. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what, like, I'm okay.
I think this might be a you issue.
This is a you. Yeah. This is a you thing. Oh man. Or it's like, when going through a divorce, it's like, all of my friends, because we would always have everybody over to our house. I mean, other people would have us over too, but we would entertain a lot. And when we divorced, I moved into this little tiny, like 1,000 square foot place. I couldn't entertain as much, and I wasn't getting invited to anything.
Yeah.
Because it was always couples.
Yeah.
And my ex became a couple really quickly. He beat me to it by, like 7 years. I'm still not a couple. And so it was like, they would do like couples dinners and all this stuff. And I'd be like, well, okay, I guess I'll go and find friends that are like way younger than me so I can feel like shit about myself all the time.
You're like, okay, fuck me then. Bye.
Yeah, fuck me.
I'll go find the singles.
Yeah, I'll go try to hang out with my kids some more. I'm like constantly texting them. Hey, what are you guys doing tonight?
What are you up to?
Yeah, I was thinking of coming by. They're always pretty gracious. But yeah.
I was just gonna say, do you ever feel like they're like just sort of placating you and don't really want you there? Or
no,
are they
I
like,
don't. I don't actually. I don't.
You're a fun mom,
they're usually, well, I don't mean, now I was, if you asked them, I was not a fun mom when they were growing up. I was not.
Maybe that's why they're such good people now.
I took on a lot of my mom's shit.
Mm.
And I was talking about that because like now that they're all grown and now that I have a grandchild and, we've talked a lot about I've constantly been like, I wish I'd done things differently. I mean, there's no perfect parent out there. And I'm not saying like, I wish that I had been more of their friend. I think that I was also very rigid when it came to like right and wrong.
Mm.
Like this is right and this is wrong. And so you're in trouble. There was no room for discussion.
Right.
So I definitely carried that over, especially for the older ones. The older three, because they're 10 years older than the youngest one, they were so irritated with what Ruby would get away with compared to what they would get away with.
Right. I'm sure they were.
Yeah. They're like, we would have never been able to do that. And me being, Brooke always says I'm a 6. I'm the skeptic and I'm scared of everything. I was a major hover parent.
Oh.
Major. Like not like with fixing things for them, but like I was always very scared that my kids were going to get kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
to the point where poor Jordan, when I remember he was like 12 years old and I think we were at a sandwich place and I was like, just go up and get a napkin. He was like, what? Like he had to walk up and just get a napkin, and it's like, I wanted my kids to be self-sufficient, but I'd always made them scared of everything.
You scared him so much that they were like, can you come with me?
Yeah, he could. Yeah. He wanted me to come with him. And I was like, no, absolutely not. And we went over that and over that and over that until he finally, I think he was crying, asking for a napkin. And I was like, oh man, I fucked that one up. Jesus.
You're like, Jordan, here's $10, put it in your therapy fund.
I know, seriously.
I used to say that to the kids all the time. I'd be like, well, that's another week of therapy. Sorry.
I know. I know. Oh man.
I'm not perfect.
No, it's any wonder that they're all as great as they are.
I know.
So,
I know.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm super delusional, but I think they seem pretty happy when I come over.
I'm sure they are, Jeanna. Like, you have a really good relationship with them. And
I don't know, but it starts now you made me think.
Well, I think you're really fun. Brooke thinks you're really fun.
I'm going to send a group text right now. Hey, you guys.
Am I fun?
You guys really want to hang out with me?
Or are you talking shit when I leave?
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh God, she's here again.
No.
It's hard to stay connected with kids when they're older.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
They're so close to me, but like proximity wise, but they're just so busy with, their own lives. And it's hard to know. It's hard to know. Cause like, I don't want to be the mom that's like texting them all the time, but then I want to see them.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to do like, at least like a once a week hangout with them. And sometimes I try to hang out with them like individually. Because when I have them all together, they just talk to each other.
Right. And then you're like, wait a second.
Yeah, I want to talk to you.
Did any of the kids go away to college and come back? Or have they all stayed local?
No, because I made them so scared of going anywhere.
Damn it, I should have done that.
They're also anxiety ridden. No, they've all stayed really close to home. Like, I mean, they went 3 of them. So 2 of them, one of them was just never liked school. So he kind of went right into a trade. And then another one went to trade school in the city. So he would commute up there. And then Kylie was our one that's like, she graduated with like 4.2 and like had all the, she was like the super studious one. And she didn't even want to take the SATs because it stressed her out so bad.
Oh, really?
So she went to junior college.
Yeah.
For like a couple years, got all of her general ed. And then she graduated from San Jose State.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And then Ruby went to esthetician school over in San Jose. So like, 40 minutes away or something. So yeah, no, I've made sure that they don't go anywhere.
If you leave this area, what county is Santa Cruz?
It is Santa Cruz County.
Okay, if you leave Santa Cruz County, they're gonna.
You don't want to. There's a lot of danger out there.
They're gonna
get a lot of danger. No, but I just saw it. So I don't know if it's true, but it popped up on my Instagram that Santa Cruz County is now considered the most expensive county in the nation. Really? In the nation. I mean, you're talking like San Francisco, Silicon Valley, like billionaire, like really like very expensive places. And it's so ridiculous here. So the fact that they're even able to make enough money to live here is huge. Yes. I mean, it's insane. Like think about like Manhattan, New York, or like, I don't know, like places like that. I mean, it's just so bad here. That's wild. That's what it got ranked as. Yeah. I mean, I know it's expensive because for a while I was looking at moving up there closer to you guys. And I remember this was like 3 years ago? Yeah. And, even then I was like, there's no way. Yeah. No, I mean, like there's like places that are renting rooms for close to like a room and like multiple people in rooms or in the house, like for UCSC students and stuff. Uh-huh. And I think they were saying it's like there's some, not all, but there's some for like $2,000, $2,500 a month. For a room. It's absolutely insane. Well, Faith was looking at Hastings Law School, which is in San Francisco, and their dorm rooms, just the dorm room for the law school was like 450 square feet, I think. Yeah. $2,200 a month. Right. And it's like, no. Who can afford that? I mean, obviously some people are affording it, but yeah, it's out of control. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah.
I love cooking for my family and friends. I love doing holiday dinners, breakfasts, barbecues, pretty much anything. It's kind of my love language for my friends and family, is having them over and cooking for them and just enjoying a good meal together. What I don't enjoy is the cleanup. Those sticky pans that have food cooked and caked to them that take forever to soak or clean off. So I recently invested in a set of Caraway pans. I will tell anyone that would listen who cares at all about pans that these are the best pans I've ever owned. Caraway cookware is non-toxic and chemical-free. So you can cook knowing that you are not using pans with PFAS coating and forever chemicals leaching into your food. Caraway pans are also beautiful. I got the midnight blue with the brass handles, and they just are so pretty, they make you want to use them. Cleanup is a breeze. Everything just comes right off. There's no soaking, there's no scrubbing. They just clean up beautifully. For a limited time, get 10% off site-wide on mine and the internet's favorite kitchenware. Visit carawayhome.com/reps to get 10% off during their summer refresh event. Certain exclusions apply. That's carawayhome.com/reps or use code REPS, REPS, at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern.
I had a kind of a weird day today.
Why? What's going on?
It wasn't bad. It was great, but that's why I'm a little bit out of it this afternoon. Did I tell you about like 5 weeks ago about the girl that got hit by a car in front of me?
No.
Oh. So this was about 4 weeks after Steven's accident.
Yeah.
And I've been down in San Luis Obispo, and I was coming home. I was doing that side job for the antique guy.
Yeah.
I got all kinds of stuff done. I was super feeling very accomplished. And it was a beautiful evening. And I was like, I'm going to stop and get a bottle of wine. And so I got off a different exit than I normally do and went to a store in town that I never go to. And I took a way home that I never take. And in front of me, there was a car that was about a block ahead of me. And I was just kind of on autopilot. And I see the car hit a dog. And so I immediately kind of started to slow down and pull over thinking that a dog got hit. But then I saw that the dog had a leash on. And so I looked back at the car, and there was a body underneath it. And so I was like, fuck. And, threw my car in park and
hit the dog and a person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
So as the car she hit her and kept going. The car didn't stop right away. I'll spare you all the gnarly details, but get there. I was the first person there. Realized that it's a child about 11, 12, 13 years old. I couldn't tell at the time. She was still breathing, but not well. And ended up getting her airway open. And thankfully, an off-duty firefighter was passing by. I already had 911 on the line, and he had a bag in his car. And I was like, if you have shears, cut her clothes off so we can see what we're working with. And so anyways, time kind of slows down in those situations.
Yeah.
So, got her airway open, held C-spine, was trying to kind of figure out what was going on with her. EMS came, they packaged her up, they took her to a trauma center. But a friend of mine is a supervisor for the ambulance company that transported her, and I was really worried about her because I thought she was not going to do well at all. Just some of the things some of her injuries. And he followed up with me the next day and said that they flew her to a specialty like children's hospital in the Valley. And like listed off all of her stuff. But word got around and her mom ended up getting my name and number.
Oh,
and
wow.
texting me a couple of weeks ago. And so they got home a few days ago and she invited me over today to
that was so nice.
Meet them. And so I spent a couple hours with them and they were awesome. And she's doing great.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, good thing you were there.
Yeah, I'm just glad it was somebody that like didn't.
Good thing it was you and not me.
I'd
be like, oh no. just what do I do?
Jazz hands.
Yeah. It'd be like Sandra Bullock. What's that movie like where she trakes the person and they didn't need it?
I don't know.
You haven't. It's like Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy, like where they're both cops, or they're both. Aren't they like both cops or something?
Oh, what is that?
And she performs like a tracheotomy on some guy, but he didn't even need it.
Yeah,
like with a pen or something. Oh my gosh!
Like MacGyver.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank God.
Yeah,
but she's okay. Was the dog okay or no?
The dog was good. Yeah.
Really?
The dog was fine. The dog ran home because she was only like 2 blocks from home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
you guys, this is why you don't let your kids go anywhere.
Scare the shit out of them.
Scare the shit out of them.
It really was just a freak accident. And the way the sun was setting, I think the driver just didn't see her because the sun sets like right on the horizon.
Yeah. It's hard to see at dusk. Yeah.
Yeah. And, it was a freak accident, but, yeah, I spent the afternoon with them and I was like feeling good and doing good. And I got home and I was like, I am tired.
Yeah. It's like, you're just emotionally exhausted.
Yeah.
Plus I'm sure it brings up a lot of stuff with the whole thing with Steven. And, I think anytime you go through like a traumatic experience, you don't even realize like how much you're holding on to.
Uh-huh.
So it's like,
her mom and I were talking about that. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, because she was in the hospital for a month. And so they just got home. And her mom was like, I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. Mm-hmm. I was like, I know. It's okay.
It was probably good for you to be there for her mom to talk to too. I've gone through that with Steven.
I really enjoyed her mom. I think we'll actually probably be friends.
Oh, I love that.
Cool. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So anyways, that's why I'm like, I don't know what to talk about.
You're like, I'm just
in the twilight zone now.
Yeah.
I do have a show. Well, go ahead.
Go. No. You.
No, you. I do have a show that I watched. I wonder if you've watched it. Well, I'm sure you have.
What is it?
It's called Why Women Kill.
Oh, okay. I saw that.
Uh-huh.
This is the thing with stuff like that. Okay, well, you tell me. Was it good?
It was. So the creator of it was who did Desperate Housewives.
Okay.
Do you remember that show?
Wait, is it a show or like documentary type?
No, it's a show. It's like a series.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I might watch that then. I have not watched it.
It's the creators of Desperate Housewives. So it has that feel to it. And there's like some quirky, funny, but like kind of dark stuff in it. I liked it.
I was like, it'd be right up my alley.
Yeah. I watched the second season first because that's what popped up. And it's done a little bit differently than the first, but it's pretty cute.
Wait, you watched the second season without watching the first season?
Yeah.
That's like some serial killer shit.
Psychopath.
Whoa, you're a psycho. Like, whoa, nobody does that. You always start from the beginning.
They're different storylines. So season 2 is a completely different story.
Okay. That makes more sense to me now. I just met somebody that like always reads the last page of the book.
I do that.
You do?
Yeah.
She's so funny because like her reasoning is that she wants to know. Okay, well, this doesn't really make sense to me. She wants to know if she should invest in the book by reading the last page. So I asked her, well, have you ever just not read the book then? She said no. But she doesn't like to be surprised.
I don't like to not know where it's going.
So you cheat and you go to the very end.
Because even like TV shows that I can't figure out where it's going,
yeah,
I get irritated with and I'll turn them off. Like I have to be able to kind of know where we're going to enjoy it, or I'm like constantly trying to analyze everything about it. And that's how I am with books too.
That's funny to me. It ruins the surprise.
The surprise is in the middle.
No, it's not.
What happens in the middle? That's the surprise.
No, it's the building. The middle is building you up for the last part.
Maybe I need counseling.
I mean, don't we all do?
Maybe it's like
we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta know where this is going. Maybe that's why dating hasn't worked out with me. For me, it's like first date. I'm like, so where's this going? How does this end?
Like, I want to be married with 4 kids, and you're like, no more kids. But yeah, it's God, I just the whole idea of dating is just
it's just.
I know so many people that love first dates, like love getting to know. Well, one of the people that I know that does that is really funny to me because I think that they really like the things that they like, and the people around them that they talk about it all the time to are tired of hearing it. So it's like getting like fresh meat. Yeah. Like a fresh blob that they can tell all their stuff to. I don't know. That's just what I think. I don't know if that's true or not. But the idea that it just sounds awful to me. And I've said it a million times on here. I'm the laziest person when it comes to like, I don't even like, I remember while I was married and like those few times that I would like get out, like a girls' night or something, it was nice to get like some attention, or you would like notice if like somebody was like good looking or all of that. I swear to God, I'm not even interested.
No.
Not even interested.
Not even a little bit anymore. No. Me either. Hold on. Brooke just popped in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. I think
I've just become like, was it asexual?
You're just,
Hi.
I'm disgusting.
Me too. Why do you look like you're like, have like a fake background?
Oh, it's because it's blurred. Hang on.
Yeah. You look like it's like a green screen or something.
Yeah, it looks like you're like superimposed.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you are.
Oh.
Hey. We were just talking about like how we're not even interested in dating. I mean, you look like a lion.
I'm gross. I ran and then I've just been on the phone. Well, hey guys, I'm here. I made it.
Hey, yay.
I can understand why Devin might be over dating. She's had way more encounters with just real winners.
Yeah.
Just pieces of work.
Like Devin has had the experience that if she told me I'm asexual, I've lost all hope in men, I'd be like, I mean, I understand. Right? I think that maybe you move and then we could reintroduce you.
Regroup. Yeah.
Yeah. Back to the drawing board.
I mean, I'm not counting it out forever, but at least while I live here, done.
Yeah. I just like when dick falls in my lap.
I mean, That's always.
Whoa.
Gina's like,
where'd you come from?
Gina's like, whoa. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to turn it down.
I mean, okay, guys, I'm not acting as if this happens to me all the time. It's just for some reason it has happened to me in a way that just like becomes consistent. And then when I think that's going to go away, all of a sudden something else drops my lap. And I realize that the clock is ticking and that is not going to continue to happen for me. But I think that when it does stop happening, I still probably won't go looking for it.
No, you'll just have a cabinet full of toys.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was laughing. I was watching this comedian that was saying that like when she's like tells her partner, like, I'm about to come, like, you know, cause she goes, yeah, it's like the rhythm's great. It's like, boom, you know, she's like acting like she's like in a band, like she's hitting the cymbals, like ding, 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 ding. And she goes, and then all of a sudden, you know, you tell like a guy, like, I'm about to come. And all of a sudden he's like, ding, 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 ding. Like,
wow. That is a very factual.
Yes. They're like, yeah, I'm doing it. And so it's like, no, just keep
You're like,
doing
no.
you're already doing. And I was like, oh my God, that is so perfect. He's like all of a sudden just like hitting every drum. It's like, no. This isn't like a, you know, go for glory type thing. Like, just keep doing what you were doing. Like almost best just not to tell him.
Almost. It might be actually.
Yeah.
Because
it's like different for guys, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like you can tell it's like all of a sudden they're just like,
yeah.
You know?
It's like sprinting at the end of the end of the marathon.
And like makes me think too of like, you know, when I've talked about running, like sometimes when I'm running, depending on how I feel, but like, let's say we'll just across the board. Sometimes I run and I'm like, oh, I feel great, right? Like my form, my temp, my rhythm, my cadence. But then sometimes if I'm like super sore or like tight, or like I'm in the middle of like a long run workout, at a certain point, I'm in the middle of a run and I can feel like one side being like, like all of a sudden, like I got one foot that's not stepping on rhythm anymore. It's like something starts to give out. And I feel like that also sometimes happens where you're like, whoa, I can't work with this.
I give up.
What's going on?
I give
have
up.
A cramp. I have a cramp.
Yeah. Then you just fake it. So they're done.
Yeah.
That's when you're like this. You're like, and you think to yourself, like, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
I'll try this again later by myself.
I know. It's funny. I feel like when you're in like a longer relationship, like that is it. Or, you know, what drives me crazy is like guys that think that they have to like they've been like taught since they were like so young, like you don't want to go too fast, right? You don't want to come too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
But it's like when you're in a really long relationship,
you
want them
20
to hurry
seconds,
up.
man. You got 20 seconds. Kids are in the car.
Yeah, we need to hurry.
Kids are in the car.
We
have soccer practice.
This does not need to be more than 10 minutes.
You're right. Yeah. You're like, you don't have to romance me right now. Just
but then you have like the double-edged sword with that though, is like women need to be romanced like to get there.
Oh, sure.
You know,
yeah.
It's almost like if you're at home and you got a partner and you've been here for a long time, hopefully you've just had a conversation where you kind of be like, you know, lay down the rules of like, they know, you know, you do have to speak up or you will end up getting the wham, bam, thank you, ma'am all the time. And you'll be like, man, I mean, I used to enjoy this.
There's just got to be a time and a place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then allow yourself some wiggle room because sometimes, you know, impromptu, you know,
my ex got to a point like where he would leave, like with our youngest one, he would take her to school sometimes. And it was always a nightmare if I heard that truck coming back up the driveway. I was like, God damn it. He's coming back for some sex.
You're like, what can I
I'm hiding.
doing that will
You run out the back door.
I'm hiding. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, with my ex, I would my closet had a door on it.
I did the same
Remember?
thing. I know what you're gonna say.
And I would change my clothes in my closet with the door shut.
I would too.
Because
it's like an instant
if he saw me naked, it was like it was almost like a green light to them.
Right. You're like, no, I just have to take these clothes off to put these on.
There was a time when I was in the closet changing and he was like, what are you doing in there? And I was like, I'm changing. And he's like, why are you changing in there? And I was like, because I don't got time for you to want to get busy.
Yeah.
Places to be.
And he opens the door almost like pissed, like, no, like I have the right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That body is mine.
And you're like, within reason, okay? Respect it first.
Oh man. I just don't miss it at all.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I really
terrible.
Don't. Well, I was actually thinking about that the other day because I went and we had like a girls' night, like a movie night. We just went in our pajamas and stuff, and they're all married and they were all talking about their husbands and like
bitching.
Kind of. And then they were talking about like, you know, if the husbands knew how to help them use a vibrator or not. And all of them were like, no, he goes in and he's like, and they're like, no,
that's not how you do it.
But they were all kind of talking about it. And I was just sitting there and I was like, is it bad that I don't miss this? Like at all?
Yeah.
Like I have nothing to say.
I know.
Because I know exactly what I like.
Devin's just sitting there doing this.
Yeah.
Just like watching a tennis match, like, oh. No comment. No comment.
It's funny to me.
No comment.
I think at one point I did say that. I was like, when you all get tired of your husbands, you can just come to my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hang out. I won't bother you.
Yeah. You're like, I know how to use a vibrator. I'll do it right. Devin's after all the couples' wives.
Yeah. No,
that'll be the
that would be even worse than men.
I know that'll be the new rumor. One of my sisters, it's so funny because like I've been telling her, I'm like, dude, you gotta get a vibrator. And so she was like, so her husband and her, she's like, yeah. So like he was so stoked. Like we went into the sex shop and then we got this, she got it was like a giant dildo, like not a vibrator. And I go, whoa, you went right to it. Like
you skipped a lot of levels.
Skipped a lot of levels.
Did you buy a fast pass? Are we
I know. And she goes, yeah, I didn't want to use it. And I was like, well, yeah, then you don't get a dildo. You get a vibrator. It's two different things. She goes, I thought it was the same thing. I was like, it is not the same thing. I will go get you what you need.
You're like, girl, do some research.
Yeah. A big dildo. Just pop, 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 pop.
You're like, oh, so you already know what you want.
Right? Yeah.
There's levels to, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of know. I always make like, jokes or comments, and we've talked about it, Jeanna, of like, you know, there's certain things that are just not on the table.
Right.
But potentially down the road, you're like, they might be on the table.
Sure.
Like a dildo.
Yeah. Like a dildo. Like you said, that's a different level.
Like you work your way into that.
Yeah.
You know, and like, and you may never want to cross paths with one.
Right. Well, I'm just thinking like, as far as like, I mean, we've established how lazy I am. Like the last thing I want to do is get an arm cramp trying to like, no, I want to push a button.
Hey, Jeanna, how'd you get carpal tunnel?
Yeah, like I'm just
I bought the wrong toy.
Freaking sling.
She's like, ow, ow.
Yeah, like I don't want to do that much work. Like, no. It seems awful.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Well, unfortunately, we have to wrap this up. B, you've made it. You made it.
Yeah, 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well, we're glad you did. I'm sure everybody out there is glad you did.
Well, I guess I could share a quick little snippet of what I was doing.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I know we've talked about we had AJ on. We've talked about what we are working on, but we are getting way closer to having things really moving along with our platform. It's called From the Farm. That's what it will be called. This is a platform like Airbnb. So it's connecting consumers and producers who we are focusing on meat, but you will be able to find producers, farmers. If you guys don't know the difference between a farmer and a rancher, cattle, farmer, vegetables, fruit, stuff like that. And farmers can have all the above too. Milk, depends on what they're doing, or if they are focusing on one thing for commerce, right? But what we were doing was basically walking through with our developer and mapping out what all of basically your experience on the app will be, and then what different features it will have on the producer's interface, their dashboard, and then the customers. So we've just been trying to create the most streamlined, easy to use MVP. So our version 1 of the app, and yeah,
that's awesome.
Hopefully we'll have it up in 6 to 8 months.
It's so exciting.
So consumer, mm-hmm. I would just go on this app and I would find who is in my area, or is it going to be specifically?
Nope, in your area. So if you were traveling and you were maybe going to grocery shop and you're like, I'd much rather go and buy some fresh produce or whatever. Yeah. Then you could just type in a different zip code of where you are, and you'll be able to locate all the. And
it's going to be nationwide, or?
We will be launching it in the Mountain West first.
Okay.
With the MVP. So we will be, the plan is to be nationwide. Not only that, but we have people who want us to bring it to Canada, bring it to other places. So, first and foremost, get the MVP done, proof of concept, and really iron out some things, a lot of conversations with the producers, with customers. What would make this easier for you? What would make this a better experience for you? Mm-hmm. All these things. And then obviously analyzing all the data from traffic into the website and what pages and things like that. And then just keep creating new features as they become something that is really asked for, and move into version 2. And then just as that happens, and as we're getting a lot of traffic to the app, to the website, et cetera, then we will be pre-planning where we're launching next. And then we will make sure we have producers on the site, on the platform before we launch it publicly to that area. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. Mm-hmm. I think there's so many people that would rather do that, because I think that they're more aware of, what the, big commercial farming and all this kind of stuff is doing, but have no idea where to go.
Well, especially now that they're selling us lab grown meat and they don't have to disclose it.
That's disgusting.
It is really disgusting. I saw a video of this girl who chicken, and she was in the kitchen. She'd bought chicken at the grocery store and it was raw. And the whole thing was peeling apart in layers.
Ew.
Mm-hmm. Looks
like they made it with a 3D machine.
Exactly. Seriously.
Like a 3D printer.
Uh-huh. Ugh. So
that's gross. Yeah. Nasty.
Yeah.
We don't know what the repercussions of that are.
I was just going to say, we have no idea.
Yeah.
At all.
How our body's going to produce her.
They don't care because they can mass produce it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's all part of the, their big old shitty plan. And it sucks. Yeah. That's why we're doing this. Well, that's one of many reasons, but really it's like that we don't need that. That's the thing. As a nation, we don't need that.
Well, and how cool is it to support?
We don't need to export. We really, America at some point needs to remember to put their own air mask on first. We've got people suffering everywhere, and food is, I was listening to, I don't remember what it was. It was like a hearing at Washington, but they were discussing the fact that it was a back and forth with EPA, that organization, and what's her name? Can't remember. Lena something. She was raising some really good questions to EPA, and it wasn't a hearing. It was some sort of like round table. It wasn't a round table, but you know what I mean? They weren't okay. And so she was asking questions, then the guy was just fumbling over his words, dude, if you're in legislature, learn how to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. But one particular thing she was trying to focus on is because they've got their new proposal for how much money they need for, this year or next year or whatever. It is absurd. So she was basically saying, first of all, this makes no sense. And people from your group department, nobody has an answer. Everyone has different answers to these questions. And these are hard data answers. We need hard data. So the fact that you don't have answers, you're picking a number, and it was all about EPA and all about trying to take everyone electrical, right? And she was saying, where's the power going to come from?
Right.
Where's the extra power coming from? Right. We don't, and she mentioned too, so if everyone's on, electrical cars, and she goes, if the downside, the really bad thing is if you really wanted to do that, one, we couldn't produce enough power. Two, if someone hacked the system, it would take down the entire country. And she said, now you can agree with me that that'd be a really bad thing, right? And he said, yes. But she was trying to really drive home to him before she finished her time that she had available to talk, saying, this is really bad for Americans. And this is going to be really bad financially for a huge chunk of Americans. Mm-hmm. And she asked him, who do you talk to when you figured out this budget number? And she asked him too, she goes, what do you do? Last question, how much do you make a year? And she goes, I know, weird question, but I'm going somewhere with this. He says 100, probably, he's like 175,000. And she looks to everybody and she goes, wow, that's way more than we make. Now and then she went over what the income is for Americans. She's like, no one can afford any of that. It is going to ruin people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's all these fights and things going on right now. And, of course they pass some of this stuff while they're taking everyone's attention to something like the submarine. Mm-hmm. And that's when they do it. And that's why I urge people to try and do your due diligence just to stay aware. I don't get any of my news from the mainstream media anymore. I go to a lot of these, you're seeing a lot more of these news groups that are just popping up that are kind of relaying information and at the time that it's happening, which is just so much nicer than finding out later, oh, we missed all this stuff. Oh, because it was part of the plan and they didn't tell us about it. That really, really blows. But as far as just focusing for us, just focusing on food supply, there's a lot of things that are happening that are not good. And like Jeanna and Devin said, in terms of this lab grown meat, first of all, gross.
Yeah.
Second of all, we will never know. You think they're actually going to do studies on what it's going to do in your body, what all the ingredients are? It's when we watched that documentary, Jeanna, and you were learning about how to choose your products, your beauty products. If it says fragrance in there, that's a loophole. Can you imagine the amount of loopholes they would have?
And even in that, we don't know exactly. We're talking long term, decades, decades down the road. What introducing those kinds of things into our bodies when we already have all these outside things.
Yep. And we are we're at a point in life where, teenagers don't even make the amount of hormones that they need to have to be a functioning human and a functioning adult. This is because of all the shit that's been in all of our products and all of our food and everything for generations that we didn't know about, because
and handed down from generations
and handed down
from what we've already ingested.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So really, if I could say anything to people listening about what we are going to be doing and trying to do, is this is important. Okay. It sucks when you have realizations that like something, whether it's your diet or a way of eating, or maybe the type of exercise you've been doing or whatever, like you've truly believed like, oh, this is what I was told and I'm doing it. And if all of a sudden years later you find out like, oh man, actually you're going to pay for that.
Yeah.
Right. It sucks. Mm-hmm. It feels really bad because, and that's why, like I would never blame my mom or my grandma or my grandpa or the generations of people for like eating all this stuff. And then look what you did to me. Right. It's like, no, we only know what we know. And that's where it's like, it just kind of like, it sucks. But that's why now where we are, there's so much information that is being disclosed, and we're learning about things that are bad ingredients that are in our food. Do something about it. Okay. Do something about it. Don't just, I've heard so many people respond about even like talking about like red dye, like, like yellow 5 and red dye, whatever, 40 or whatever it is. It's like people know about it and we can have the conversation, but it's almost like people just acknowledge it and then just be like, then they just accept it.
Yeah, but what do we do about it?
Yeah. And it's like, well, I know. And it's like, well, no. Yes, we are in a situation that we can't control and we can't fix generations past. We can't. But what we can do is start voting with our dollars. And then if you have kids or you want to have kids or whatever that is, make the changes for yourself now and then create a much more positive path for your kids or for your future kids. And the only way to do that is to make adjustments the best way you can versus accepting the misery loves company. It's like, instead of just accepting that like, oh, well, we're all screwed. It's like, well,
right. But like you said,
we can take steps to make it different, to change our outcome.
Well, and if you think about the fact that it has been handed down more and more, like if you're planning on having children and you know this and you know what you've already ingested, you're going to create this baby past that all, so feeding them those foods and not thinking about those things is going, that child, you can't just be like, oh, whatever. It's like, no, now that kid's going to have twice as much as you did in your system,
and they're born with it. That's how they start out.
Right.
It's so.
Well, and I love the idea of just supporting, small ranches and farmers and
keeping them in business,
in business, because they're, these hardworking people that are being, their jobs are being taken by this, commercial bullshit that's so bad for us.
And a lot of people out there, whether you realize it or you don't, need camaraderie and community. Mm-hmm. And what better way to surround yourself with, if we can just focus on one thing at a time, health and long-term health, is to be connected with those producers that are right around your area or right next door in some cases, or maybe like 20 minutes out of town. But that gives you food security, that relationship. And that is what we are focusing on. It's not about making money. People will probably say that's fake and call bullshit, but it is not. Our goal is to get producers more consistent money, because then that gives them power against the powers that be. It gives them power to be able to deal with whatever bullshit comes their way, or new mandates or new things. We help them fight against the oligarchy. Is that a good word?
Uh-huh.
Like, is it oligarchy or oligarchy?
Devin's all good.
Yes.
Like that. I looked at Devin like, oligarchy? I'm big word speaker.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like, it's about that. It's about reminding people that there was a time It's we the people, like there's so many things that are completely outside of our control, but that's not the way that it's supposed to be. And the only way that we can make a difference is coming together, is working together. And I think that this is going to be a really great opportunity to do that and to have people create camaraderie over something that we can all agree on. Being healthy food, small businesses, keep them alive, right? Like if you want to argue against those things, like I can't help you.
Yeah. There is no argument against that.
No.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, but we do have to wrap this up.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm starving.
I love that though. No, I love that.
That was the perfect way to wrap this up because, and we can talk about it more, in another.
Well, and we will too, as we get things more progressing. Love to have AJ on and us just like keep the listeners informed. Just another way to like keep them up to date on where we are and all the things. But
it's awesome. It's a great project.
All right.
Yeah. Doing a lot of things I've never done before. It's exciting.
That's good. That is exciting. I love that. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to
rate, review, subscribe, 5-star rating, 5-star warning. Devin.
See you next week.
We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.